Where's my pen, man? Hey guys, welcome back to the Ice Project, the vlog version, talking about multiple sources of income. Nothing fancy, tripod, one camera shot, a bit of a whiteboard, me and my pen. Let's go, roll the intro. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about multiple sources of income and why it's important. There's two parts of my childhood that I really remember that relates back to this income. I remember being 5-6 years old and my dad went on strike at work. So I grew up in a town called Tukaro. The main industry is based around forestry, and they went on strike. And I remember going down to the food bank, and then we were getting like these big packets of rice and sausages. Even as a 5-year-old, I kind of got a photographic memory. I can remember all these parts of my life. I remember the impact that it had on my family and on my mum. So my mum, to this day, hates sausages, hates rice, because it reminds her of that time. The second time, I remember being 10 years old, we're playing soccer, there's a big tournament, and I remember my dad breaking his leg. So he went for a sliding tackle, proper freshest tackle you ever see on soccer. Didn't even know how to play soccer. Freshest tackle, boom. Snapped his tibia and fibia, the two big muscles in his leg. He tried to stand up, so they went out, snapped it like that, tried to stand up, and they went, whoop, slid down on each other. And why I remember that so badly is because my dad was out of work for the next 10 months. He still walks with a limp now through that. He's got this big rod in his leg, all that sort of stuff. But I remember driving up to the hospital and impact that it had on my mum and how she felt. Even at 10 years old, even though she didn't talk about money or said it in that sort of term, I understood what impact that sort of had on my family because we didn't have that double income household. A lot of people listening to this would have grown up with a single parent. They would understand the stresses of their parent having to work multiple jobs because they only had one source of income. After my dad snapped his leg, 2-3 months later, I remember I was playing tug of war at school and I wrapped the rope around my hand, I was pulling, but there was someone behind me as well. And the rope actually ripped straight through my hand. I've still got the scar there. And I remember my thumb hanging off, all this blood pouring down my arm, and I remember just fainting. And someone woke me up and I got up and I was like, what the fuck? And the reason why I remember this so badly, I felt bad. I felt bad for my mum, I felt bad for my dad, because in my mind I was putting more stress onto our family. And I remember we were going up to the hospital and I was sitting in my cast like this, didn't get to eat for 2 days before I went into surgery. And I remember going to my mum, I was like, oh mum, I don't have to get this operation now. I'm okay, I'll be sweet. And because in my mind I knew I was just putting more pressure on our family. But lucky she's a good mum, she got my thumb fixed, wouldn't be able to do this. 80% of your grip comes from your thumb. So spent this whole summer holidays in the cast. Couldn't play touch and shit like that, so I was filthy at the time. But I remember the impact that I had on my family and especially on my mum. So, multiple sources of income. The average millionaire has 7 sources of income. And I'm going to show you how I've been able to get 3. If you follow my content for a while, Instagram stories, even when I was at my old power office, one of my goals has always been to have 3 sources of income or get to 3 sources of income by this year. And this is how I've been able to do it. YKTR. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not rich, so don't come asking me for money because I'm poor. Nah, but I feel like I'm taking on the habits of a rich person. I'm trying to copy the habits of what rich people do and pass it on. So if you have grown up in a family that sort of struggled for money, you might have a negative connotation towards money. You might have heard your parents say, money is the root of all evil, or we can't afford that, or do you think money grows on trees, or that's only for them type of people. If you've got that mindset, you need to flip that up straight away. Because if you talk bad about money, money's not going to hang around with you. Money loves to be appreciated. Money loves to be talked about. And I talk about money in a great sense now, not because I'm money hungry, but I want the things that money can buy. I want freedom. I want the ability to work when I want. I want the ability to travel when I want. So I'm not associated to the actual physical thing itself, but more so what it can get me. And I feel like that's everyone. So first rule, don't talk bad about money. But this is how I've done it. I can only speculate. I can't speculate on how you can do it, but this is just how I've done it. Here's my bank account. PS, 2-3 years ago I was almost broke as well, trying to build this all up. So YKTR, I get paid to run YKTR. I get paid for the day-to-day service of what I can provide for this business, building websites, designing, all that sort of shit. I get paid for that. So that's my one sources of income. But that's where a lot of people stop. They're happy, they're comfortable in their job. You see this coronavirus thing happening around. If the economy collapses, if YKTR dies tomorrow, in theory, my income source, my well to produce money stops. And that's where the stress lies. Same as my parents. Once my dad stopped working, there wasn't a double income household anymore. When my dad goes on strike because he wants to be part of the union, the money dries up. So understanding this as a kid, it wasn't until I was a bit older and I started hearing about multiple sources of income. Remember, the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. Sounds like a lot, but we'll get to that. So YKTR, I get paid to just do my job, which is run YKTR. Off the back of that, and this is important, keep your main thing your main thing. The thing that's giving you money, make sure you do it. Unfortunately, I love fucking doing this. I could do this every single day, but my mind's always thinking, what else can I do next? How else can I help people? How else can I turn this into a business? What was my next step I took? Podcasting. In my spare time, I built a podcast studio in my office so I didn't really have to leave. In my spare time, I was podcasting people because I really enjoyed it. I thought I could be good at it and I felt like I could provide some value. But I'd done that as a side hustle. It took me 46 episodes before I got paid. 2 podcasts. The thing with podcasting, never charge your end consumer to listen to your content. Charge advertisers to get onto your podcast, to get in front of those people. So if I started charging you guys to listen to my podcast, a lot of you will sign out, but I charge businesses so I don't have to charge you guys. So that's my second source of income. I charge that fortnightly. That's more money coming into the bank. Third, off the back of podcasting, maybe a good 8-9 months before I got paid to do this. But in saying that, I've done that as a strategy because I didn't want to dilute the content through too many ads. I wanted to provide value up front to the point where people sort of hanging out to listen to the podcast, and then eventually build enough of a voice or enough of an influence that I'd reach out to businesses that I feel like I aligned with personally and charge them money to have ad space on my podcast. So I side hustled that for 8 months and then got paid for that as well. Keep your main thing, side hustle, then hopefully you get paid off the back of that. And then that sort of led into consulting. Plus speaking gigs. Consulting plus speaking gigs. Consulting, at the moment I've done 2-3 in the last 3 weeks, and it's all the back off this, being able to build up YKTR, being able to build up a good podcasting platform where people find me valuable enough to go, hey, here's some money, can I have a meeting with you for 30 minutes? Can I have a meeting with you for an hour? And I found this really, really fun, to be honest. So got a speaking gig, maybe 2 this year. I've definitely got one on the Gold Coast coming up in May. I'm looking forward to that. It's just going to be a Q&A style one, but get paid to speak on stage, get paid to do consulting. So that's my third source of money that comes in. So what rich people do, and this is what I've read in Rich Dad Poor Dad, everything I've read, what rich people do with their money, they don't buy stupid shit, they buy assets. So what's an asset? According to Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, an asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. So people say they've got houses. So say if you've got a house and it's taking money out your pocket, say it's only $10 a month, that's a liability. You only have to top it up $10 a month. That's a liability because it's taking money out your pocket. So what rich people do is they actually, with the money that comes in, they actually try and buy assets. What's assets? Like I said, besides assets being something that puts money into your pocket, it could be shares, could be houses, could be businesses. And what does that do? So you get shares, you get dividends of shares, rent of houses, or capital gains of houses, or equity and dividends of businesses. So what does that do? You got it. That provides another source of income. So they get the dividends from shares, that goes back into the bank account. If you're into property and you're getting rent, say you're getting $100 profit a month, that $100 goes back into your bank account. Businesses, people buy businesses, it's easy to buy businesses and scale them from there. If they sell them, more money into your bank account, and they keep trying to acquire assets. So what next? Where does my mind wander? So if you want to tap into my mind, I was like, what's the next business I can start? It's probably going to be an online course. I want to build out this course where if I can help people probably between the 0 to 500K mark and where they are in business, and that could be another source of revenue. Start a digital agency. Build a team out there, take a cap off that every single month. Like I said, another source of revenue. So here's my strategy behind it. And once this money comes into, this is how I split my money. Once it comes in, heard a great saying, never count your money twice, put it to something that's valuable. Like I said, I'm not rich right now, but I'm trying to take on the habits of a rich person. I go into shares. even though it's not going that great at the moment with the coronavirus. I like having my money in shares. I've had my money in houses before. I end up selling my house and using the equity to build businesses. I want my money in businesses. I feel like I can build a business pretty well. So I've been able to so far. Don't want to get cocky or anything. I like to put my money into a business. And at the moment, I'm putting my money into sports cards. Last night, I spent $500 on sports cards, on cards that I think are going to go up in value. So I buy a card for $80 and it goes up to $160. I've essentially doubled my money, which is going to be better than shares and stuff anyway. But that's my strategy. That's how I'm thinking. I've got my main job. I side hustle that into a podcast. I get paid my weekly wage. I get paid for advertising, consulting, which isn't as consistent, or speaking gigs, but get paid to sit and have a conversation with me. Want to build online courses. Want to get paid for that. Digital agency that I own equity in and get a top off, get paid for that. But then once that money comes into my bank account, I'm flicking it off into shares. I want to start investing in other people's businesses. And as a side hobby for fun, I just want to flip some cool cards. So I hope that helps you. Hope you got some value out of this. So, yeah, that's the strategy. That's what I want to do.